Hey everyone, I am here with Jeremy. We're analyzing a set he did on Laughter Party. We're going to be doing some games in the middle about like finish that punchline, and we're going to analyze very specific sections, say what we both think, and then give a sort of overarching feel for like what did we learn from this, what would we do next time, and so like overall review 5 stars, amazing. So Jeremy, anything to say right up top? Any context you want to give about this set or this Laughter Party?
Prior to this, I've really only done like open mics and then some open mics like with like kind of like an audience. So this was like kind of like my first like show. There were some parts that I completely just used past, like parts of jokes that I just completely missed. I'd love to talk about those, but yeah, no, I'd love to chop it up and get into it.
Hey guys, how we doing? Thanks for coming out on a Monday. Really appreciate that.
Okay, so one second, let me just...
Oh, nice, diverse crowd here tonight. Love it. Yeah, that's one thing.
Okay, so how do you feel about your intro moment of like walking on into the first thing you say to the audience?
I remember like thinking the energy was good, like up until I started talking, and then it just went like super. Maybe the music stopped and it just went really quiet. I was like, I remember in my head being kind of thrown off by that. That was just like a little thing, but I was just like, oh shit, it got like dead, and I gotta like keep the energy going.
So there's a thing about like intros to stand-up sets. It's like being introduced to people at a party. Like, oh, here's my friend Jeremy, and so there's a few things. One, we sort of have to treat it like an introduction. One of the big things that is like sucks about the comedy world is there's like a mic and a mic stand that you have to deal with, and if you need a chair, you have to deal with the chair. But you've already walked on stage, and the audience wants to make that connection. So a lot of comedians are too busy, like, fumbling with the mic, and then they do all this. And then, like, oh, hey, guys. But it really does feel like if someone's like, hey, welcome. Hey, do you want to meet my friend William? One second. No, I got to do this stuff. Okay. Okay, hi, how are you doing? And it's like, oh, what? That first impression already ruined. Oh, nice. Chat's saying like feels really good for your first time doing like a real show stand-up. Chat, you get turned back. Chat, I'm turning you back on screen. Yeah, you've earned it. Don't make me regret it.
Oh, totally. Yeah, I as few like distractions as possible, right? Like the more you're like fumbling with stuff is like as soon as they see you up there, I feel like I just in my head I was like I kind of want to just get into the jokes without having to do all this like throat clearing, I guess. Just like
sure. Oh yeah, I like that. Oh, hey,
I'm doing stand up.
We could be like woo. Chat. Oh, you test that. But yeah, we could be like woo. Thank you. So here's the first thing I'm going to talk about. Like we can get into it fast. We just need to make sure we're rewarding the audience for making noise, so they feel more likely to make noise later. Is the big thing. Versus if we don't do the thank you. If we just go. So I've been thinking about this thing. The audience is like, oh, whoa, I just need to shut the fuck up. This is a lecture, okay? And then you could very easily like train them in the wrong way. We don't do that at all. We are not shutting down the audience, but we do disconnect from them when we do this. When we do watch how our focus is on. And like I said, I know stand-ups that I've been doing stand-up for like 10 plus years. That I fall for this trap sometimes, especially when it's a new environment of like oh I gotta get my mic thing, but like the audience doesn't know that, and we like baseline we always need to be focused on this audience. So it's a common trap of. So we're looking at the mic, we're looking at the side. Their clap is starting to applause. We're not thanking them, so we're not rewarding them for clapping. We could be, as the music's coming down, we could be keeping that energy because the music was the avatar of energy, keeping the energy up, and we could be like, okay, thank you for handing me the baton music. Now it's my turn, just to like read it, just to say the same thing.
Hey guys, how we doing?
But we say thank you guys. How you doing? We're doing good things. We're saying like, oh, thank you, I appreciate you. This is going to be a conversation. So we sort of like lost the first few seconds, but now we're in the game. So like we're good to go.
Thanks for coming out on a Monday. Really appreciate that. Yeah. Oh, nice, diverse crowd here tonight. Love it. Yeah. That's one thing I love about living in New York.
So yeah, nice the first crowd doesn't get a reaction, but we feel natural, we feel great. You're like, well, let me hide from this? No. I think after that first thing, which don't even worry about it. I think we're doing a great job. We're natural. We reignited the energy. We're like, oh, how are we doing? We're being conversational. Love it so far. So let's get into the first full joke.
So many different cultures here. I myself, I'm Filipino. I'm Filipino. Yeah. We Filipinos? Oh yeah. Filipinos? Yeah. One thing about Filipinos is.
I'm gonna move us to the other side of the screen. What I do think is funny is that like you're like, any Filipinos? Oh yeah, my table up front. You guys are Filipinos. It's like,
I was like, why did I do? I was like, I know 3 people that are coming are Filipino.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I don't want to make it seem like too obvious of a plant, but I was like, my brain like short circuited. I was like, do I acknowledge this? I was like, I don't know, it's so dumb.
No, it's not dumb. I like it since it is acknowledging the reality, but it's kind of funny. It's like, oh yeah, every comedy show has that table of Filipinos in the front. This is a New York thing.
Oh.
A lot of Filipinos actually have Spanish last names. You know? Because back in the 1500s, the Spanish went on a cruise around the world, and they were very horny. Yeah. They basically pulled up to Southeast Asia, just ready to get it on with anything that moved, like they just got out of prison. And that's because they just got out of prison.
Okay, first full joke. How do we feel about Filipino just got out of prison joke?
I think it went okay for the first one. I think it was like not like it was like just like a fun like play on words, kind of unexpected, kind of punchline thing.
2 things. One, we do a physical act out, which we sort of half commit to. I think if we either fully dived in or blazed past it, we might have gotten more juice out of the squeeze, and I'll go back and show you what I mean, an example. And second time, like, our writing is very clever, but there's a lot of moments in this set where at the end, we sort of like, and here's my punchline. Instead of like, and you laugh here! And so we get a laugh, but it's like the writing doing all of the work and and it's working like against some of the performative things instead of like if they both held themselves up, I feel like you would have gotten a real big full applause for that. So like I think the act out about like here let's go back to the watch.
Around the world, and they were very horny. Yeah, they basically pulled up to Southeast Asia, just ready to get it on with anything that moved.
Yeah, instead of just like get it on, we can like they're ready to get it on with anything that moved. Who's moving? Oh yeah. Oh, you could like knock the mic stand down like like either like fully commit to it or like don't do like because by the time we started doing something, I was like, oh, he's doing something, and then we stopped before we understood it and had time to process what you were doing. So it's sort of like okay. So that's why I think we could have like optimized that moment. And then for the final punchline,
like they just got out of prison. And that's because they just got out of prison.
Yeah, so like, and that's because they just got out of prison. So it's like,
right.
It's a joke versus like, they want to pounce on anything that moved, cause like they just got out of prison. And that's because they just got out of prison. And so I subconsciously I'm saying, you laugh here. It is your turn in this conversation. And so you sort of bully the audience into, bully but without a pejorative connotation to do something. Thoughts on those concepts?
Totally. Now I'm remembering, it's like unlocking memories that you suppressed after the show. It was like, I think I remember, kind of like deflating on some punchlines. I think it was like, maybe it was nerves. Maybe it was just like I was like out of breath. I was like, and that's because I just got. And I was like, I wasn't like. I totally feel that.
It's like you talk, and you hadn't, but you just weren't conscious because we wanted whatever. There's a lot of balls to double, so like we weren't focused on our breath. So we needed to push the most. Unfortunately, I'm a singer, so I'm going to be able to go for a little bit before I really get out of breath. But at the final end of the breath, you're just really running out of breath, and now it's time to do the punchline. But you don't have anything left to really push out like that.
Exactly. It's like when you were a kid and you were making a sign and you ran out, like you make the letters too big. Yeah. The rest are like squished. That's basically what my delivery was like here. I know, totally. Yeah. So to just like kind of like emphasize the punch more to like signal that the audience like this is could use some laughs here.
Yeah.
This is where it goes.
Okay, but once again, we feel natural. The writing's clever. we're not in a bad place. We're just not. We could have been in a better place. We're still in a great place. I still like this set. And I not like so far. I was gonna say so far, but I meant like just what we've watched. Not like so far as in like but that changes later.
One time I was staying at an Airbnb, and the host saw my last name, Rellosa, and she looked at me and she was like, "You look Chinese and Costa Rican." It's really happened. It's really happened. And I was
Okay, thoughts on that first sort of like setup half payoff to this joke.
I thought it went as like rehearsed. I think I threw in the "this really happened" thing just as like I was like improvised. I was just like, I don't know why I felt like I had to justify that.
I don't
know.
mind that. I don't mind that at all. And I can see some audiences where I think if we're gonna do this, if we're gonna like, so we sort of became this lady, but we were like this. We were mostly the stand-up. I think we could have maybe squeezed more juice out of this. I don't want to push people out of the comfort zone, so I don't know how performative we can push you at this stage. But if we're like this lady, she was like, oh, like you look. And then we can add more personalities before, instead of just using this character as a puppet for the words we need them to say, we can add personality around the words. Like, you look Chinese, and you can like really like add stank to it to like really, so the audience is like, oh shit, he should feel weird, and then you get more juice out of that squeeze instead of like, you look Chinese and Costa Rican. We haven't put as much personality on it, so we don't get as much. We haven't put as much. You get it. As an
Totally.
As one of 1,000 options that we can do to like sort of like hit this up. Once again, the writing is clever, so we are and we're doing a lot of good things. I'm just trying to show like the ceiling of where we could be.
Totally. Yeah, I'd love to talk more about like when I should like fully like commit more to an act out or like a reenactment of something, when I'm like quickly switching in between joke and the part I'm retelling or the part I'm acting out. It's like, is that too jarring to like do that and just be like last time we talked about like where I could stand physically on stage to signal that this is a different voice or a different, I don't know.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you don't have to give the woman like right here's a full voice, but you could like take a small stance and be like, you look blank, and not change your voice a little, and then the audience will get like, oh, he's doing something different. As to far the question of like how often do we go full tilt into the act out versus like stay more like there's no true rhyme or reason. It's art, so like I could be like, here's a thing generally to follow, but there'd be sets that break that and sets that have different lines in the spectrum. I would say generally people don't like it in stand-up when people are like, how are you doing? Oh, I'm doing good. How was your holiday? My holiday was good. They prefer you stay as one character and straw man the other half of the conversation. How was your vacation? It was good. I didn't think it was good. You went to Hawaii? So I can stay in one character and dig into it and just assume the other by straw manning it and sort of giving hints to what was said on the other side is usually the better. And like we don't go back into this lady, right? She says what you are, and then we never turn into the lady saying things ever again, right?
Yeah, so
that's
right.
This is an easy one that we can jump in and then just leave it in the dust. So we could go full tilt on this act out because we don't have to go back and forth. Would be my general rule of thumb with act outs.
Gotcha. Cool.
Okay, let's get the full payoff of this.
like, listen, lady, I know you get a lot of guests, but actually I am impressed.
Similar with that punchline, I am impressed. Versus like, I am impressed. Oh my god! And the audience like, oh. Similarly to adding the personality to the lady, if we up her personality, we could also up our personality in response. Like, listen, lady, I've been to a lot of Airbnbs, and I just gotta say that I am impressed. Oh my god! And then the turn gets more turned because with the personality, the audience is like, oh, he's gonna say he feels insulted, and then with the impressed will come out of nowhere more. If that makes sense.
Totally. Yeah. Like I feel like this will definitely be a pattern in this set. I felt like given a moth radio hour, I was just like, and then just telling like half punchy. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, like emphasize more.
Yeah, to be fair, I was just analyzing John Pikowski's set with him. To be fair, there is a trade-off. These big act outs will get a higher. There's a better payoff potential. There is a bigger risk. If I'm like, I'm the old woman, and the audience is like, I didn't like that joke. Now, like it looks like you ate shit. Everyone sees that you ate shit, and if they don't laugh, you're like, you have to have some recovery line. Versus if you do it more subtly and it doesn't land, the audience is like, oh, he's just talking, he's just telling us a story. You don't run that risk of completely. So there is a payoff, and everyone can do their own sort of like risk reward and where they want it. But I at this point with you, I would push towards the more performative until maybe we hit that point, and then we could dial it back. If that makes sense.
Gotcha.
Basically, I don't want you to feel bad that this was the expression of it, because there are benefits to this way as well.
Right.
And to that end, we capitalize on those benefits about like we seem supernatural the whole time. I never feel like worried for you as an audience, even when jokes don't land maybe as hard as they could. There's never a point where I feel like you truly have egg on your face. So like once again, we could have been swinging for the fences, and by the end the audience is like, Jeremy, you need to get off stage, bro. This is, you know what I'm saying?
Totally.
So we never get there.
I'm impressed. Because Chinese and Costa Rican is basically the formula to make a Filipino. So props to her. You know, she really showed her work on that one. Really studied up on her history. One thing that's big in Filipino culture is basketball. We love
What?
I completely missed the second part of the joke. The whole
what is
review
the second part of the joke?
Review the Airbnb.
Okay, you want to tell now? Yeah, you want to go for it now?
Yeah, sure. Like, it was time for me to fill out the Airbnb review. It was like, okay accommodations, easy check-in. Host was kind of racist, but accurate. Wouldn't recommend to family and friends. But if you can't afford Ancestry.com, hit up the host. She'll get you sorted out, or something like that. I forget what the actual tag was.
Oh man, now that you're saying like, oh man, I wish we'd done it. But to the end, we missed a joke. Sometimes when people miss a joke, they're like, let me move on. Once again, I missed that you missed a joke, and I knew what this set should have been. So like, once again, we're natural, we're fine. We've just jumped over a potential minefield, and we've come out unscathed. So great.
I love watching basketball with my friends who don't know much about basketball because they're excited, but they use like the wrong lingo. One friend's like, "Oh, did you catch the game last night, man? Did you see James LeBron? Did you see him? You took that ball? Oh, it was so freaking cool, man. He took that ball and did a dribble and he ran it up and then he did a slam dunk." And it's like, they say slam dunk. They don't really know what they're talking about.
Okay, before we get to the second half of this joke, how do you feel about half number one?
I thought it was good. One thing I noticed, like specifically, is that when I was setting it up, I ended on a question instead of like a declarative, this is the thing. I think, what was the line? It was like, they're excited, but they use the wrong lingo. I should have said it like that, but I was like, they use the wrong lingo?
Gotcha.
Or something like that.
I
think I made it a question.
Let's watch, if we have a question in mind about it, let's watch it back. We got the footage right here.
Because they're excited, but they use like the wrong lingo. One friend's like, "Oh, did you catch the game last night, man? Did you see James LeBron? Did you see him?"
Okay, I'll go into my point before we watch this. So one thing that we could have helped this on the we could have helped this joke on the performance side. Like, did you see that game with like James LeBron? Oh man, he was dribbling the ball. He was like dribbling the ball, and then after that he did a slam dunk. you know, and so like we could really show how little they know by physicality, you know, the wrong basketball move with the thing as a way to uplift the joke. But once again, I don't hate the iteration that we did. I think it still was successful.
You see James LeBron? Did you see him? You took that ball. Oh, it was so freaking cool, man. He took that ball and did a dribble and he ran it up and then he did a slam dunk. And it's like, if they say slam dunk, they don't really know what they're talking about. And it's like, I wanted to make fun of my friend, but then I realized, oh, that's how I talk when I talk about drugs. Yeah, that party was so freaking cool, man. There were so many cool-ass drinks there, dude. There's so many fat blunts and stuff. You know, what was that drink, sir? What was that drink we were drinking? It was, the beer. Oh, yeah, that was so freaking cool. We were doing so much alcohol. It was getting... I got slizzard like a G6. Then we did a slam dunk, so that was yeah.
Okay, so how do you feel about second half of that joke?
I thought it went okay. Let's see. Again, I think like what you said before, just kind of like physicality could have been. I could have like spelled it out more than I really did.
We could have done like, man, we smoked so much blunts, man. We were doing beers. And like, you know, we could play a second iteration of that game of like physicality not matching what we're saying, among others.
Right. And I thought, like, I remember thinking that I was in a trap because I was like, the point of the joke was that I sounded like how I talked about drugs the way my friends sounded when they didn't know about basketball. And the way I performed the basketball thing was at this kind of like this level, so I had to do it again at like this level. Maybe that was just because that's just how I did it. But I was like, oh, it has to be the same because that's the point of the joke. So if I did this again, I would definitely up the physicality on both parts. You know.
Sure. One thing I do really love what we do is we use the audience for what was that drink that we had, and it forces them to like listen and then bring them into the bit. It's this part right here.
What was that drink, sir? What was that drink we were drinking? It was the beer. Oh yeah, that was so freaking cool.
Yeah, I love it. I love that using the audience. So then, like, if they weren't listening, they're like, oh, now I have to. Oh yeah, beer, and then you sort of like make a mini little friend. And we use the audience in a way that is not true crowd work, but now they feel like they are part of this little game. I like that. I like that as a move.
I pointed to my friend at the table, and I talked to him after the show, and he was like, dude, I froze. I didn't know what to say. And I was like, he was like, I thought you wanted me to say something funny. And I was just like, oh, no, I just wanted you to say any drink. But I guess that made sense. He just froze.
Yeah. It still worked. I loved it. It seemed like this was what you were intending to do, so I didn't see, if those were thoughts going like, oh, in your head, I didn't see it at all. So great.
It's like, dude, why didn't you say McFlurry? God.
It would have been so funny if you said Pinot Grigio. The whole set would have been saved. I do think since we did whatever we do with slam dunk, we need to like slam dunk. Like it'll help it land if we do the same thing. But I like the full iteration of this joke.
I got slizzard like a G6. Then we did a slam dunk, so that was yeah.
So one thing is the purpose is like, and then we did a slam dunk. End of sentence, nothing else, let it land. When we bring it back, we go, and then we did a slam dunk. So that was cool, that was really great, that was really fun, so like second rung doesn't feel like first rung, because first rung we taught the audience like, then we did a slam dunk. That is end up talking about the thing. It's like the purest. If we wanted to really give them the space to laugh, because that's
looks the camera.
Yeah, exactly. Then we just slam dunk.
Laugh.
Yeah.
It's a laughter party.
Yeah. We get the laugh signs to illuminate at that point.
No, I can't go out like that anymore. I can't party this hard anymore, guys. I've been trying to save money. Anyone into saving money? Yeah. Love saving money.
Yeah, to the point.
The biggest laughs I got the whole set. we're about if people are interested in saving money. That's funny.
No, but I look at this as a positive, because if you had truly lost the audience, if they were not having a good time, you wouldn't have gotten who likes to save money? Yeah, well, it would have felt stilted. The audience, so like the audience might not be laughing as much as we want, but they're still intently listening. They're still on your side, and we can prove that. We can tell that because they are excited. They want to play with you, and it's evident in that reaction right there. So I take that as we're like, that's bigger than the laughs I just got, but I do take that as a good sign personally. If it
Right.
makes you
Yeah.
feel any better.
No. Totally. Yeah.
Tip your wait staff, though. Tip your wait staff. Save enough, but tip your wait staff. I love not going on vacation. I just realized that's my favorite thing to do.
Did you want to talk about something? What? You know, like,
Deflated. I lost. There was a beat. It's like if I was like an audience member, that's when I would have taken a sip of my drink. Just like,
Sure.
oh yeah, I lost my attention. I was like, God, why'd I do that? Anyways.
Your brain likes to look at things and label them as safe or not safe, and as soon as it has labeled something as safe, it wants to ignore it completely, and so it wants to focus on other things. So if something's not changing, it's been labeled as safe. It takes a lot of frontal cortex energy to keep paying attention to it, because your brain has already labeled it as safe. And so exactly. But if I'm talking like this, is that safe? Is this safe? Why? Whoa! We don't have to go full that mode, but at least for some of our stand-up, we kind of get in this mode like, hey, this is me introing a bit, this is me saying a bit, oh, and then here's my paying off a bit. Oh, hey guys, this is me introing a bit, this is me paying off a bit, and so the audience is like, I know what that is, and so we're sort of training their brain to be like, oh, what's that buzzing in the room? Oh, my drink, oh, I'll survive on their drink. So we're not hijacking their brain to force them to pay attention to us. That makes sense.
Right.
And wait,
Totally.
we don't have to go as crazy as I just did, but an occasional like, anyone like saving money? Woo! Yeah! I love saving money. Okay, now back to normal speech. There's occasional things like, oh, what? Is that safe? Oh shit! I'm watching stand-up, and trick them a lot.
Or I could just pepper in some "wake up," and just like some.
Wake up! Take up!
Is that chop suey?
I can't remember what that song is. Table. I'll look it up after. Anyways.
Not going on vacation. I don't have any trips planned right now, so I've just been telling people that I'm having a summer in the city, which is code for I'm broke as shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. We did the physicality. We did the physicality when we needed it. We could have maybe been a little bit more forceful with the punch, but the punch wasn't fully deflated. Like it was still like, Annie, you laughing? I like that rung. Even though I'm just biased anything you're gonna say about it, because you're like, I fucking hated that Will, and I think it's the dumbest thing ever. You wouldn't say that. But your thoughts on the I don't travel part 1.
Right. For some reason, and I would love your thoughts on how this goes for your sets too. You think of like some of the jokes that you think like, oh, this one will do well. This is my trusty one that'll get some laughs. For some reason in my head I was like, oh, this one's a killer. I feel like people are gonna laugh at this one. So then when it happened, I was just like, it didn't meet some expectation in my head. I was just like, panic mode. Oh God, what's going on?
So yeah, I mean like. It's hard because sometimes like the setup to like your really big joke will get a laugh. Like, you're not supposed to laugh there. What the fudge is wrong with you people? If you had given I knew your set before you did it. If I would be like, oh yeah, that was gonna be a big laugh right there. It could be that we are coming down from like a so we're not in the best place for like versus other moments when we play with the audience more with like the what was that drink? Oh yeah, beer, which we might not feel as strong of a joke, might have gotten more of a laugh because we forced them to pay attention at that moment in the middle of something. So like the psychology of the moment was in a better striking position than we are currently. Although like in other iterations, this joke probably should be one of the golden jokes of the set to get one of the biggest.
Totally.
But yeah,
Makes a lot of sense.
it's always a mind screw, and you're like, the audience didn't like my travel joke. That's the best joke of the set. What's wrong with you? Like it just sucks. It's just a part of the thing, and yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, totally.
Luckily, I think I've gotten pretty good at diagnosing things. So at least for myself and for people, I could be like, okay, I think this is a thing. So you get some closure. But a lot of comedians don't really know comedy that well, and so there's like, it didn't work, I don't know why, I guess I'll keep trying it with no end path or correction in mind, and it can be very unfulfilling. So for those of you who might be watching this as a clip of how to do the art of stand-up, yeah, learn comedy. It will leave you more fulfilled if things go wrong.
This joke kills at the Wells Fargo corporate event.
Yeah, it gets a slam dunk.
It gets a slam dunk. Some of them are leaving completely slizzard, like multiple G6s.
No, I realized that my emergency fund isn't enough for like a real emergency. It's like if I'm out at dinner with.
I will say one thing. One thing I do want to comment on in a good way is, for someone who you do like, oh, this is one of my first real shows. We do a great job. We do a great job of letting the audience laugh and then picking it up. I don't. There's a few laughs that we maybe talk over, but in general, the ebb and flow of you letting the audience laugh, even whether you expect it or not, is pretty good. And I do want to point that out so that we don't just like blaze by the whole set without pointing out that like you could be completely flattening them and then they wouldn't. That's one of the reasons why I think like that. Who likes to save money? Woo! They're still on our side because we've given a good give and take with the conversation, which is why they still like us instead of like, no, I want to see the next comedian. Get this guy out of here, sort of thing. So just like that. We do communal shits. Anyways.
Friends and the restaurant can only take one card. I can handle that, right? If someone Venmo requests me for a beer, a cold, freaking cool ass, super cool beer, I can handle that, right? But say there was like a real emergency, like.
Okay. What? Why did you just have ultimate cringe right there?
That part I had written in because again it was like a callback to the party. I don't know how to talk about drugs and alcohol bit, and I don't think I said cold, super cool beer, so it just felt random here. Like, why is he talking about a beer that's super cool? And I don't know. I'm maybe analyzing it too much.
So for my money, I think because we highlighted enough with, what was that drink? Oh yeah, beer. I think the audience gets what we're doing here. I think because there isn't much differentiation between like this and beer moment, that it could hit harder if like, oh, this is normal baseline Jeremy, and like, oh man, beer, it's so cool, and then here like, if you need to pay for drinks, I need to order a beer, it's super cool, cold beer, and then the guy's like, oh, he's definitely doing a callback because we clearly have that same energy and voice, then it would hit more viscerally. But I don't think you need to full alt, control, delete, cringe moment yourself here. I think the audience gets what you're doing. For my money, at least. So let's go back. Let me make you watch it again.
I'm out at dinner with friends and the restaurant can only take one card. I can handle that, right? If someone Venmo requests me for a beer, a cold, freaking cool ass, super cool beer, I can handle that, right? But
see, the audience got that. It wasn't a full laugh because we did keep talking. We didn't let it land and stick. But the audience got what we were doing. Yeah. At least some portion of them did.
It was like a real emergency, like someone kidnapped my girlfriend and they wanted a ransom, right? Like, no, real emergency. I couldn't handle that. Because I don't know if $123 would get my girlfriend. I don't think the math works on that.
Okay, how do you feel about the full payoff to that joke?
I remember taking a longer beat for this next line just because I thought I wanted to let it sink in that I remember just like consciously being like, just relax, even though I needed to do that throughout the whole set more. I was just like, just tell the joke and then maybe just have some 2 seconds of maybe uncomfortable silence before you say the next line.
It's funny because you're like I was so nervous during the set, but one of the things I'm like, yeah, you seem easy breezy, and it seems like you're a little low key, which was making our jokes not land as high as hard as we may want. But like I don't feel like you're nervous watching you. I don't feel scared for you. I don't feel like he's in a bad place. I mean I understand like the reality can be like, but as far as my perception of you, not even a little bit. So if that was what the internal life is, like absolutely great. Oh yeah, chat agrees. Yeah, he seemed pretty poised considering. I would be fidgeting like remove that. I'd be fidgeting if it was my first time. So yeah, chat agrees that you seem calm, cool, collected. I do think we punched it a little bit about like I don't think if $123 would get my girlfriend back, but we could have gone maybe a little like I don't know if $123 will get my girlfriend back. And then instead of like this button line,
I don't think the math works on that.
Yeah, I don't think the math works on that. Like if it's like a lateral or like an almost restating, I think we need something that heightens more. Like I might get a foot or like something like that as like a would tear, but like we need something like that heightens the premise.
Totally. I think that is also a thing I do, where I will say the punchline. And then I'll almost like pad it with like something like an affirmative for like my brain. I'm like, oh, that was fun. I'll like say something to follow it up that's just throwaway.
Yeah. So keep that in mind because this final ring, there's a section where I literally designed a lesson I can show you just to show you something that you did. But keep that thought, and spoiler alerts or foreshadowing for everyone in the future. It's not terrible, but like I'm gonna show something to you once, like a small thing I'm gonna do, and you're like, oh shit, I'm never gonna do that again. So I'll let you sit on that for a second. One second. We only got 2.5 minutes left in the set, so it won't be long till we get there.
I'm just kidding. I don't have a girlfriend. So don't have to worry about that. No ransom means we're saving money. Hell yeah.
See, we're saving money. The first time we really saw the punchline, and the audience is with us. Once again, we because we've been easy breezy, we haven't lost them yet. But the first time we go like, yeah, I want you to respond to me. They go like, okay, yeah, we'll respond to you. We like you. You see that?
I'm not used to people liking me, William. That's why. That's.
I mean, most people who get into comedy aren't used to people liking them. It is endemic to the profession.
No ransom means we're saving money. Hell yeah.
I think that was Queen's dad that I did a high five with.
Oh, I love the high five to the audience. I love that. I love that moment. Great moment. All around.
Yeah. No, but I have been trying to date again. Been trying to get back out there. Yeah. Anyone else single here? Anyone else? Oh, ladies, single, broke. Chinese Costa Rican who likes basketball and doing sweet alcohol shots. That's under guy.
Great. Yeah. Still undersold, but great. Your thoughts on that ring?
I thought, man, watching it back, I remember that being a lot more nerve-wracking in my head. But watching the video, it didn't seem as bad as I thought. But yeah, acted out a little bit more, performed it a little bit like more. Like the point of that was just like I'm desperate, and these are all the qualities I mentioned in the past few jokes.
Yeah,
it was like almost like a list of callbacks that I could have just hit harder.
Yeah, I was talking to Chat about this earlier, and I've gone on this tirade many times, but it is one of my pet peeves with stand-up, and specifically indie stand-up, not professional stand-up, because by then they learn the difference. But there is this sort of like, and if you go to open mics, you'll see it. There's this brand of like jaded indie comedian that what they want is they want to be able to just like be cool and talk like this behind a mic, and I'm just gonna say words, and then have the audience go, "Oh, words! Whoa, my God, words! Such clever words!" Which, as you see that, you're like, that seems a very hard thing to do. And it is, because we are the energy avatar of the room. The audience is going to match us. So if we're more subtle, we can still get some things. But notice, we got the biggest reaction from the audience when we gave them the biggest reaction. Like, we're saving money. And they're like, oh yeah, we want to match you. We want to have fun with you. So some of the reasons why we're getting low-key laughs from the audience is because we are being low key. We're saying this is the energy of this is the temperature of the room. So our laughs are gonna be like, oh yeah, oh, that was a great joke. That was a great. It's still a good laugh. They want to match our energy, but they're they're just too afraid to be like, wow, etc. etc.
Totally, yeah.
And I see that. I was telling chat this. I see this in the comments to my friends' stand-up videos. A lot of jaded indie comics will like respond to people like, oh, I guess just yelling is being funny now. I just yelling is doing comedy. And then you watch that jaded ass person's clips and they're like, it's just all comedy like this. And it's like, yeah, you gotta give them some energy, and you're just like fucking jaded because they got a big laugh, but you don't understand the mechanics behind it. So like, it tells me where you are in comedy that you would put that or whatever. Blah blah blah. My own baggage.
I realize that my friends are bad at setting me up on dates. You know, it's not the people that they're setting.
Oh, we might have been like are bad on setting me at dates. Proof. I'm still single. Remember? We didn't think about that, but that would be a great addition. Like, bro, I'm still single. Friends, come on, step it up.
Doing sweet alcohol shots. That's under God. I realize that my friends are bad at setting me up on dates. You know, it's not the people that they're setting me up with that are bad. It's my friends who are bad at advertising these people, right? Like my one friend, she was like, Jeremy, I found the perfect girl for you. She's sweet. That was it. That was the entire. This was the entire.
Okay, thoughts on she's sweet.
I think I tried to do something where I think I like moved across the stage to like, you were in my head. You're like, establish it. Like this is where you're doing like the act out of like your friend doing the thing. So I think I like half committed to it, and well, I don't know. Yeah, I thought it went all right.
I really liked it. The only thing I wish you had done is you had let the tension grow a little bit between she's sweet, then deflate. We deflated and we showed that we're breaking too fast. So we just didn't. And we still got a great reaction. So I still think it was successful. But at this moment right here,
she's sweet.
Yeah, she's sweet. That's it. Like, but I like the idea of like stepping into this character, being this character, and just doing a subtle, slightly high. I don't like, and we get a big laugh.
That was the entire. This was the entire advertising. It's like just.
Great, and I think we get a slightly bigger reaction from the audience because like that was the entire thing, and like he feels a certain way about this. I'll match his feelings about this. So love. I like that.
Sweet, like. What are you hiding? You know, like you gotta give me more. Like I want the full report. I want the full dossier on this person. I want to know. Does she like doing freaking cool alcohol shots? I want to know.
I do think we've pressed that button too much at this time. We've already double called back it, and and like so like yeah.
I blanked. I think even on the one in the written part, that was like last, like in case of emergency, break glass. Sure. I completely just I smashed that.
You're like, You have like 8 fire extinguishers, and you're like, I'm ready for anything. And we're like, it was a false alarm, Jeremy. Like, I'm ready.
No, exactly. Yeah, I was just like, cool alcohol shots.
Yeah. I think because we've already called it back twice, like the audience is like, okay, get in a little bit of a new joke. They still like us. It's not terrible, but we're getting to the point of diminishing returns.
Does she like basketball and doing sweet dunks? I want to know. Dietary restrictions, actually. I don't want to take her to the Cheesecake Factory and have her farting up a storm on the way home. And more importantly, does she...
Okay, how do you feel about that?
I'm gonna cut that. This is not good. I think it's just like, I don't know. When we were writing it, right, you were like, don't make this imaginary. You don't want to like shit on this imaginary person for just having being lactose intolerant. But I was like, oh no, it's all about me. I want to make sure that I'm like setting up a good date. And it just got confusing, so maybe I'm just gonna cut that.
Yeah, because we said they're farty, we put it back on them being less than, and I think we get a small like from the audience after that. Like if we really listen close, there's like.
I don't want to take her to the Cheesecake Factory and have her farting up a storm on the way home. And more importantly.
Yeah, we have like a in the back. If you listen to once again, because like if it's like I want to take her to the Cheesecake Factory, she's lactose intolerant, she's gonna hate me. Then we could put it on us, but because we made it. Once again, someone felt sorry for imaginary, strawman person that we're attacking. That wasn't bad. The audience is still on her side. We haven't done anything terrible. But
does she know how much drugs cost? Because I'm tired of googling that.
Yeah, see, they still like us.
No, but I'll leave you guys with this.
Oh, there could be something like I got 50 tabs on Google. How much is a sick ass blunt? How much is a sick ass cocaine snort? How much is a sick ass? All my tabs start with how much is a sick ass, whatever. But we could have played with that 50 tabs a little bit more. It's like a half idea, I think. But still, the audience on our side. We're getting laughs. We're good. They don't care about the Cheesecake Factory cheesecake moment. And we haven't gotten to my example. My example is our final joke, which works really well. But I'll show you, and you'll be like, oh, but this could have been.
Right. If you're gonna set your friends up with people, hype that person up to your friend. Like really sell that person, right? Like if you're at a car dealership, you wouldn't want the salesman to be like, yeah, it's got a good safety rating. It's like, no, you want the salesman who's like, buddy, you're gonna want to get all up in this car. This 2014 Prius. This 2014 She's quiet. She's the quiet type. But she'll get you there. She's attractive. Looks great in red. Looks great in red. Look at that. Looks great in red. Buddy, I'm telling you, this Prius is hot. You're gonna want to fuck this Prius. You're gonna want to fuck this Prius. Have a good time, guys. Thank you.
Okay, wait. How do you feel about the fight? He's in full cringe. Okay, how do you feel about this joke?
This is exactly what went through my mind. I realized I didn't deliver the final punchline as well as I could have, so I said it again under my breath, and it just completely. I was like, why did I do that? Why did I just say it twice? Yeah, that's exactly. Well, I mean, I know why I said it twice, but I was like trying to correct myself as it happened.
Sure. Any other thoughts on this final joke before I potentially bias by saying my thoughts on this final joke?
It's kind of a weird thing because it didn't. Okay, I would like to completely restructure this from a writing standpoint, because when I talk about introducing this Prius, I do the thing where like this 2014 Prius, and it's like, and then I go to like, oh, she's quiet, so it goes down. It's like, it like I feel like I was just like I wasn't like heightening it.
My thing help. First of all, going back to the thing about like if we're gonna be the woman, like give her some life other than just the one thing. I love that. We could have gone further. We could like, they love just the mini bite, but they barely understood it. But like we could have really leaned into that more. And then secondly, we repeated like every line of this final joke. We said like everything twice. And if I'm talking to you, and I keep saying the same thing over and over, it feels really weird. It feels really weird, right? Right? Like what? Like I don't understand what to do with this, because I've never seen this in real life. Like, you see how weird that felt?
It's a new form of comedy. It's called echo comedy. I'm trying.
Okay. Now with that in mind, watch this car bit.
This is 2014 Prius. This 2014 She's quiet. She's the quiet type.
She's the quiet type.
She'll get you
there.
She's attractive. Looks great in red.
Looks great in red.
Look at that.
Looks great in red.
Buddy, I'm telling you, this Prius is hot. You're gonna wanna fuck this Prius. You're gonna wanna fuck this Prius. Have a good time, guys.
So like we basically did like, you know, we repeated like literally every line versus like, oh, this 2014 Prius, let me tell you, she's the quiet type. Oh my gosh, she'll get you there, but oh, she looks amazing in red. And I was just gonna say, you're gonna want to fuck this Prius. The whole joke becomes streamlined if we just remove literal the doubling down of everything. So like that might solve the problem in and of itself if we just remove the doubling of every line for. The joke still worked because it is a strongly written joke. The audience is enough on our side that they don't really care. So we kind of fumbled the bag performance-wise, but everything else was, you know, holding the castle, so to speak. So I still think net the audience is like, oh yeah, that was a funny joke. But like we could have been like, oh yeah, oh man, that car joke, yeah. Ah!
Totally. And man, I didn't notice that because obviously, like when in the script, I'm not writing these lines twice. So this is obviously
there's a copy and paste error.
It's like, yeah, I had it in there it was like a new thing I'm trying. But yeah, no, that I think it comes from just like I think also in my head I'm like, did the audience hear it?
Yeah, to be fair, the audience was laughing, and so we would say it the first time, the audience would laugh, and I could see you being like, oh shit, I need them to know this before I move on, so let me just double down. And I don't hate that as an instinct, but because it iterated like 5 times in a row, then the audience is like, if we did it like once or twice in key moments, I don't think it would have been apparent, but we did it so much, I was like, why it's every line?
He must really want to sell this Prius.
Wait, what?
He must really want to sell this Prius.
Yeah. Well, my family needs food. People buy this Prius. And then the one final thing is similar to the intro moment. I always look at the exit moment. So okay, so this is your exit moment.
You're gonna wanna fuck this Prius. You're gonna wanna fuck this Prius. Have a good time, guys. Thank
you. Okay, so how do you feel about your exit moment?
I was glad it was over. No, I'm just kidding.
I love doing comedy. I was so glad it was over. Oh my god. No, yeah, I feel you.
I said, that's my time, guys. Thing. It was like a little downturn. So I also was like, why the fuck? I was excited. I was like, why wasn't I more, yeah, like I was actually very thankful that my friends and everyone came out to the show. So I don't know how I was like, oh, thanks guys for coming. Thank you guys. This is my time. I was like, I was beating myself up. Definitely.
Yeah. I've done it a million times. But similar to the intro moment of like, it's like meeting at someone at a party. It's like saying goodbye to someone at a party. Ideally, you want to be like, it's so great meeting you. We're gonna do that thing that we talked about. Yeah. Oh man, I'll see you later. Thank you guys. Bye. And then we leave the party. Instead, it was like we're like, okay, it was nice meeting you. Bye. And we walk out with our head down. The person was like, was it really nice to meet me? They didn't seem like they enjoyed that conversation because I watched them with their head down, like kicking their dog on their way out. Like the audience is watching us until we get off that stage. They're like, thank you, yeah, oh yeah. And then we're off stage and then we can be like, oh god, now I beat myself up. But we have to make sure at least ideally the follow through is, feels fulfilling. But okay, so we've done the whole set. Is there anything you would like to say as far as like your thoughts overall? Sort of like all-encompassing, tying up loose ends, or like the things I do next time, things I've learned, or any in conclusion thoughts that you might have about the whole entity.
Totally. After the show was over, I took some notes, and I remember thinking I should have relaxed more. Like, I felt like it's because I felt so nervous up there, and maybe it didn't translate with how the jokes went. But like, I remember thinking, man, I should have like relaxed like a lot more and just been more like just settled into it, and like, I did have this one thought that like, I felt like I was rushing because I couldn't deal with the silences if there were any. Because I was like, I gotta get these jokes out because this is a laughter party, so they gotta laugh. So I did remember having that thought too.
It's a laughter party. They have to laugh and they have to party.
Yeah, this is the silent party. What are you doing, you idiot? That's basically in my head, just being like, yeah. So,
Sure.
yeah, I think that was my first takeaway. Upon rewatching it, I think it was actually more that I could have upped the energy with a lot of the deliveries and kind of just the stage presence in general in key moments. But yeah, I also think my first gut reaction of relaxing more could be true too. I could have been more relaxed while still having more energy. So I think that was my biggest takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as to the relaxed thing, like, only you know what was happening in your head then. So like, maybe it is sort of like a mental relax. There's also the thing about like, if it's one of your first like real big shows, yeah, it's hugely nervous and there's this impetus about like I need to be funny and it's a wild unique sort of like mental place to be in. So like I could 100% feel about this. They have an expectation and there's other comedians here and like I need to prove myself to the show and I need to prove myself to my friends who came. Like there's a lot of the tensions are high. To that end, I don't think it at least once again it could have been really tripping you up in your mind. But as far as physical representation, the only places I think it might have presented itself is some of our act outs, like or like sexual, and then dropped it immediately because we didn't feel relaxed enough to like stay in this weird position. So that might be where it was manifesting physically. But other than that, we looked at least easy breezy, even if internally we might have been like. And then yeah, everything else I think is just like this like classic sort of like punch up a little. It's funny that you say that you thought you rushed because I really do think you had a nice ebb and flow with the audience as far as like about like letting them laugh and then like coming in right when you needed to afterwards. So like I remember.
Yeah, I remember watching Paris do his set, and I was like, dang, he is supremely chill and so comfortable up there.
He takes
too
much time. He takes
What's
too
that?
much time. He takes too much time. Do not use him as a role model.
No, but I was just like, I want a little dose of that. Like, he was just comfortable.
100%. I also am like, I watch Paris and I'm like, yeah, I need to be taking this for myself as well. 100%. But don't aim for that speed though. But interesting. But it's funny. It's funny. Not funny, but interesting to me that is the thing. I think the writing is really strong. I think this once again we never lost the audience, even if some of the jokes didn't land as well as we wanted to. And I think with just a little bit of those punchy things, this could go from like okay, this is a great set to like oh, this is a banger set. Like absolutely killing it. As far as like my feelings, if someone was like, oh hey, this is someone's like first time doing like a big stand-up show, I'd be like, oh, I thought they'd be a little bit deep into this. I wouldn't have thought this was like first time. Once again, because we were so relaxed and comfort, we didn't eat shit. We didn't really shit on ourselves because a lot of comedians, if a joke doesn't land, they'd be like, so here's my next joke, and you can see them shitting on themselves, and so you're like, oh, okay, they don't feel good about this. Now I shouldn't feel good about this. Versus like, even when things didn't land, I'm like, hey, I'm excited to talk about this next thing with you guys. I'm like, oh yeah, okay, great, yeah, let's do it. So yeah, I like this a lot.
Sweet.
Thank you. And once again, I always do these critiques, and then I'm like, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you didn't do this, you did dummy, and they're like, yeah, and I felt it was a great set, and people are like, did you? Because I assume the things that you did well, we did intentionally, so we could replicate those on our own, versus the things that we didn't do so well are the things that I would need to point out so that we can change them. Which is why I also tried to be like great ebb and flow with the audience, great relax. Like we could also over direct it into the being too wild, so like there is a benefit to the relaxed energy. I'm trying for myself to like, because how I treat myself is terrible in my head. Chat agrees. There are a lot of positives here. So like, I know you're like cringe, but that only
cringe
you.
My middle name, William. Cringe is my middle name.
Yeah. But once again, only you know the other iterations and what it was supposed to be and what was dropped. Oh, I guess and me.
Wait, you.
But the
And
audience
people-
does.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Hey everyone, if you made it this far, consider giving this video a like or a comment. You can subscribe to this YouTube channel for more stand-up analysis, lessons, and writing, or you can join us live on Twitch every week and help us write our comedy. Check us out. Okay, bye.